Hey everyone, Ashley Bendixson here, National Speaker for Youth and Schools on teen dating violence prevention and leadership. And today I want to take a moment to paint a picture of just how prevalent teen dating violence is. Now, when I was a teen, I would never have equated something like domestic violence with young people. And in fact, it's probably the reason when I was experiencing abuse that I had no idea what I was going through. It was only years later, when I had a course on domestic violence and heard a speaker on domestic violence, that I finally realized what I had gone through, and it was textbook dating abuse. And of course now, through my work over the years, I've learned that my story was not unique. In fact, countless teens are impacted by abusive relationships in every community and in every school. Now, I wrote a blog post on my website this week because I'm often asked just how big this issue actually is. And what I did was compile all of the facts and the statistics that I share while I'm speaking year-round. And you can find that on my website, ashleybendixson.com/blog. There's a whole bunch of statistics and facts that you can read for yourself, and there's a lot of other resources on there too. But I want to highlight just a few of the most important ones. In the United States, 1 in 3 teens will experience some form of abuse by a dating partner. Now, I want to stop there for a second because I want you to pause and really think about what that number means. 1 in 3 means that 33% of any student population is impacted by abuse. So if you have a school of 1,000 students, we're talking 333 of them will be impacted by this horrible issue. Now, other studies have found that 1 in 3 teens also admit to reporting acts of relationship violence, which is also equally concerning. And aside from these students, we also know that 1 in 5 high school students have reported that they know someone in an abusive relationship. So what this tells us is that countless students are impacted or witnessing abuse in some way, yet we are grossly under-addressing it. Now, when it comes to adults, we also know that they lack an awareness of just how prevalent this issue is. More than 80% of parents say they just aren't sure if teen dating violence is an issue. And while more than 80% say they do think they could correctly identify all the warning signs, in tests they were unable to do so. At the same time, schools, for the most part, have not done any training on this. There was a major study of high school principals where they found that most principals themselves had never been training, nor had they actually offered any trainings to their faculty and staff either. Now, this is extremely concerning because dating violence is much larger than just a bad relationship. We know that students who experience dating abuse, that large population, all those students who experience dating abuse are at higher risk for a whole bunch of other secondary consequences. Often, an abusive relationship is a root cause for other student struggles. For example, students who are in abusive relationships are now at higher risk for substance abuse, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, failing academics, absenteeism, tardiness, and a whole bunch of other personal challenges. So dating violence causes not just struggles personally in the terms of a relationship, but serious short-term and long-term consequences. The numbers are overwhelming, and yet we are not talking about this enough. But in order for us to prevent harm and protect youth, and most importantly, ensure that they're thriving and able to have a sense of personal leadership and self-advocacy and not get into these abusive situations, we need to raise awareness and we need to teach them the skills to identify abuse and speak up for themselves. We also need to train adults on how to recognize the warning signs too, so they can intervene. So I encourage you to learn more about this issue. There is too much at stake for us not to address it or discuss it. Again, you can go on my website, ashleybendixson.com, and find a bunch of resources, or just go Google and look some stuff up. And of course, if you want to address this in your community, I would love to serve. I would love to come and visit. I speak to everyone from students to the adults who serve them, to parents and teachers, and I'd love to share my programs with you. So take a look at my website, ashleybendixson.com, see what I offer, and I hope at the very least you'll send me a message so we can start that conversation and start to drive real change. Thanks again, and until the next video, I'll talk to you soon.